Hello everybody, and welcome to another War of the Spark draft here on the channel. Today we are going to be drafting on MTG Arena. Before I dive in though, I do want to remind you that if you enjoy the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up. I really do appreciate everyone who does that. It really helps the video out, helps the channel to grow, and I truly appreciate each and everyone that does that. As always, if you have any questions at all or comments, be sure to leave those in the comment section down below. I do love interacting with you guys in the community, you guys and gals, and it really does make my day when I can read a nice comment and stuff like that. So I really appreciate each and every person that does that. And finally, if you do want to join the team, support the channel, and be a member of the community, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I do periodically post polls into the community tab that all subscribers have access to, and I do use those to improve the channel. One of those polls that I posted recently was whether people preferred drafts where I try new things or drafts where I go full tryhard. The results were a little bit split, but mostly people said they wanted full tryhard mode, so we are going to be doing just that in today's video, and thank you everybody who voted in that poll. So that means we're going to just be drafting as if I was at the Pro Tour and seeing what goes from there. Okie doke. So in this pack, Mobilized District is a card that is definitely a good card, but in Limited it is hard to, and having a creature land in Limited is definitely a nice upside. It gives you a mana sink attached to one of your lands. Maybe it makes you able to run 18 lands in your deck, but it is a downside in that it is a colorless land, so it is harder to take early. It's also not insanely powerful. It does cost a lot to activate, so it's not going to be the pick out of this pack. Davriel is a card that has performed unbelievably well. A lot of the times, your opponent's deck won't have a 2-drop, and if you're on the play and you play Davriel on turn 3, making them discard 3 cards for 3 mana is not unrealistic, and it can just win you the game. The damage is also semi-relevant a lot of the time. Another card in this pack that is noteworthy is Rouse Outburst. This card is very powerful, and if it was a monocolored card, I think it would be the pick here. 4 mana, deal 3, draw a card. Ascent is just really good, and there's some card selection. It can also go face, it can go to Planeswalkers, it can go hit anything. Rouse Outburst is phenomenal, but it is 2 colors, and in this set, even though you can splash, the blue-red color combination doesn't always want to splash. It's harder to splash outside of green because green has cards like New Horizons and things like that. So if you are looking to splash, you generally don't want it. Like if you are taking a gold card early, you generally don't want it to be a gold card that's not in green. But Rouse Outburst is quite powerful, so in some packs it will be the correct pick just because it's better than every common, I think, by significant margin, though. But a lot of the commons, but Spark Harvest is one of the better commons and is definitely the only common out of this pack worth considering. It is very powerful, destroy creature or planeswalker. It is expensive, and it does get a little bit worse in multiples because you do need to be proactive in this format in some way. You need to be able to have a creature on the board that's able to get through for damage. Flyers are incredible. Being able to kill flyers with Spark Harvest is quite nice. That being said, I think Davriel is a little bit better than Spark Harvest just because the upside is so high on Davriel. So we are going to be taking the Davriel here. If Davriel wasn't in the pack, I think we would take Spark Harvest because it's a monocolored card, then Rouse Outburst because it's just the best card, then maybe Mobilized District, but it gets closer after that. I think Mobilized District would be the 4th pick out of this pack, though. So we will just start off with Davriel, pretty happy. Gideon's Triumph is a card that has not been impressive to me. I think Gideon's Triumph is too easy to play around. A lot of the time you can send in an extra Teo's Shield Wall or something that you have lying around, and then Gideon's Triumph just does not do a ton of good work. It's still playable, but just not a very good card, not a card to prioritize at all. Narset is a card that I have liked, in certain decks. I think it's very, it's unreliable draw to. The stopping opponent from drawing cards is sometimes relevant. Like if your opponent has a Tamiyo's Epiphany, it really wrecks them. That being said, I don't take Narset super highly. I just think it's a card that you're pretty happy to put in your deck, though I could be a little bit lower on it than other people in my opinion. If you have enough instants and sorceries or planeswalkers like hits off of Narset, it can be a lot better, but generally the fact that you can't always really play it on turn 3 and it doesn't have the same upside of Davriel of completely destroying your opponent. Usually it'll just draw you a card and sometimes it'll even miss. Next up, I think Angreth Rampage is another card worth talking about in this pack. It does match one of the colors of my Davriel, but the card isn't insane. Sometimes you'll get a 2-for-1. Your opponent will sacrifice a creature and a planeswalker, but generally making the opponent sacrifice a creature isn't insane. There are a decent number of cards that generate 2 creatures, like Lazotep Reaver, things of that nature that'll make a 1/1 and an army token or things like that. So you have a lot of sacrifice fodder. So Angreth Rampage doesn't do a ton of good work. Notable commons in this pack are Thunderdrake. Thunderdrake has won a lot of games against me. It's been a very good card, and I'm very happy to take Thunderdrake. I think it's a little bit worse than Narset, though, just because Thunderdrake is a 4-drop. Even though it does have flying, I think Narset, just finding you your powerful planeswalkers, your bombs, sometimes just is very good, and it works well with this works well with Proliferate too, but I think Narset's a little bit better than Thunderdrake, though think Thunderdrake is a good card, and probably the next best card in the pack after Narset. And then Tidebreaker Barrow Giant is a card that I have seen played. It is very expensive though for a 4 or 5, and unless you really need to punch through on the ground, unless you need a way to win the game, I'm not a huge fan of Tidebreaker Giant. On-Crop Invader is better than it looks. Keep in mind, it only has first strike on your turn. The threat of activation makes this a very nice attacker. So here we're going to take the Narset over the Thunderdrake, but I think Thunderdrake is a close pick, actually, with Narset, because Thunderdrake, the fact it just grows out of control a lot of games. Okie doke. So here we are currently in blue-black, but we could definitely just move out of either of those color combinations, and we are given a tough choice here. So in this pack, in certain formats, a Johnny's Pridemate would be a really nice... Sorry about this. Really nice uncommon to pick up. In M19, this card would have been phenomenal. But in this format, there's not a ton of life gain running around, so a Johnny's Pridemate is worse than the white commons in this pack, Law Rune Enforcer and Trusted Pegasus. I do want to mention that I think Bond of Passion is a little bit more playable than people are giving it credit for. The fact that it does 2 damage often means that you can shoot one Planeswalker, take their creature, hit their other Planeswalker, or shoot them for 2, take their biggest creature, kill them. And a lot of the time with a threaten effect, you don't want to be casting it on turn 3 anyway. So like Active Treason costs 3 mana, and this costs an extra 3 mana to have 2 damage tacked onto it. But a lot of the time, this isn't going to be a card that you cast alongside other spells anyway. You're going to cast this card to steal their creature and win the game. So it doesn't really matter that it costs 3 extra. It's just that effect doesn't need to be costed for 3 mana, if that makes sense. Like, sure, you'll have certain draws of your aggressive deck where you just really want to cast Active Treason. Active Treason, by the way, for those who don't know, is a 3 mana version of this that doesn't have the 2 damage tacked on. It's just 2 in a red. But I do think Bond of Passion is a little bit better than people give it credit for. Enforcer Griffin has also performed quite nicely. Okay, the hovering part is not working right now for a second, I guess. It'll probably start working once I click on a card. But Law Rune Enforcer, well, I did not mean to take Law Rune Enforcer there. It was close with Law Rune Enforcer and the Pegasus, but it's actually really close on Law Rune Enforcer versus Pegasus. So this isn't like the end of the world, but I would have liked to talk about it. The 2 cards in the pack were Trusted Pegasus and Law Rune Enforcer. Law Rune Enforcer, of course, being this card that I'm hovering over, and Trusted Pegasus being the 3 mana 2/2 that when it attacks gives a creature flying. I'm not actually super unhappy to have the Law Rune Enforcer because Trusted Pegasus doesn't fit perfectly into every deck. A lot of decks don't have enough creatures to really utilize with the Pegasus. And my Planeswalkers are relatively defensive, so if having a Law Rune Enforcer could be nice to pair with either of these. It was definitely a pick between those 2 cards. So Law Rune Enforcer was actually probably the card I was going to end up taking anyway. It's just a very effective removal spell. It kills any creature for 1 mana, essentially, except for army tokens and Ugin's Conjurant. Okay, so let's get to this pack now. Sorry about the... Okay. Whew, that was a little bit. Tails of the Shield Mage is really bad. I don't think this card is great. The Hexproof does come up occasionally, but I just don't like a card that only makes 0/3s. The fact that making creatures that have no power just really is a hard thing. It just doesn't trade with other cards because those creatures just end up chump blocking, and that isn't really a good use of a card. 10th District Legionnaire is quite good. However, the red-white aggressive deck doesn't come together all that often, and 10th District Legionnaire is one of those cards that's in an awkward position of not being quite good enough to just slam early, and then not being, but then it makes it harder to transfer into the red-white archetype because this is one of the better cards in that archetype. Let's see. Spellkeeper Weird has performed pretty well. A lot of the time you can pick up a bomb rare that is an instant or sorcery, like one of the finales, and then Spellkeeper Weird does excellent work. Though not the blue finale, but the black finale and the white finale both work really well with Spellkeeper Weird. Sorin's Thirst is a card that I'm much lower on than I was when the format started. It just turns out 2 damage doesn't kill a lot of the relevant threats that you want to kill. So I'm not a huge fan of taking Sorin's Thirst. At this point, I'm leaning towards either the Spellkeeper Weird or the Pollen Bright Druid. I'm not really looking to take a Tidebreaker Giant. 10th District Legionnaire would potentially be a card to take. It is probably the most powerful card in the pack. This is tricky. So the pros, I don't think Pollen Bright Druid is the pick here just because it's not good enough to warrant going into a 4th color for. 10th District Legionnaire might be, though, because if I have Law Rune Enforcer and 10th District Legionnaire, it might mean that red-white's open. There's not really a ton of other great red and white cards in this pack. Spellkeeper Weird, though, is a card that I'm not super... Like, it's not a catastrophe if I miss out on it, though, whereas 10th District Legionnaire is very high upside, so I am going to take the 10th District Legionnaire here. Next pick, I would take Spellkeeper Weird. And then It's actually kind of close between Sorin's Thirst and Pollen Bright Druid. I'd probably take the Sorin's Thirst, then the Pollen Bright Druid. Or the Tide Bearer Giant, maybe. Okie doke. So it looks like we might be seeing some red-white aggro signals. I do want to mention that I think Nissa's Triumph is quite bad. I played with it because I wanted to test it out. It's hard to give a accurate grade on this type of card without playing it, but it turns out that just if you already have double green, you generally don't really want to just be getting 2 more forests. I think playing 1 copy in a very mana hungry deck could be correct, but it's not a card you need to take early. In this pack, Makeshift Battalion is a card that's performed decently well, though if I am playing an aggressive deck, I do want to prioritize those 2 drops, and Pouncing Lynx is the type of card that works really well with a lot of the cards that work well with 10th District Legionnaire, like Combat Tricks and the like. Lazotep Reaver is very good. I think it's the best card in this pack. It just is a very good 2-drop. It gums up the ground. It can grow some army tokens. So I think that this card is quite nice. The only question is whether or not I think black is open. And I guess seeing a Lazotep Reaver, there's an Aid the Fallen in this pack. Charity Extractor, if you are in an archetype that puts counters on creatures, is more playable than I have given it credit for in the past. Just because while a 3-4 mana 1/5 is not great, if you make it into a 2/6, a 2/6 is just really hard to get off the board. Pollen Bright Druid, as I said, is a pretty good card, but not a card I'm going to take over cards that are in more obvious color choices. Chain Whip Cyclops, not really a card I'm going to take out of this pack. If I'm taking a white red aggro card, it's going to be the Pouncing Lynx, just because you need to have good 2-drops. And this card is a pretty good attacker, even though it does get wrecked by cards like Erratic Visionary. So here is between Lazotep Reaver and Pouncing Lynx. The main question, of course, being, do I think I'm more likely to go into a Davriel deck or a white deck? And I think a white deck is actually more likely, given the fact that I first picked the Davriel, haven't really seen a ton of black since then, and this is pick 5, and I do already have 2 cards for that white deck. If I do end up missing out on a Lazotep Reaver, it is not the end of the world, but I think I could end up with a decent white-red deck here. Okie doke. And this is exactly what I was hoping to see. There's 3 white cards, 2 red cards. I do think Vraska's Finisher is pretty nice in more aggressive strategies. Contentious Plan can work well with Planeswalkers. But this is definitely the type of pack that I wanted to see. Defiant Strike works really well with Pouncing Lynx and 10th District Legionnaire, but I don't prioritize Defiant Strike because you can generally get cards like this, and it's not the greatest combat trick in the world. It is nice with this type of effect, but I'd rather prioritize other cards. I think maybe more 2-drops like Martyr for the Cause. Martyr for the Cause, of course, works very well with 10th District Legionnaire. Any Planeswalkers I pick up. Ugin's Conjurant is nice as well if you have some Proliferate themes. Other than that, it's just like a kind of okay card because like it'll be a 2-mana 2/2, a 3-mana 3/3, things like that, and then Proliferate works well. I think I'm just going to take the Martyr for the Cause here or the Enforcer Griffin. Enforcer Griffin, of course, being a flyer is very relevant in this format, but it does cost 5 mana, and you do want to make sure you can get on the board early with these aggressive decks. So I think I am just going to take the Martyr for the Cause because 5-drops are more replaceable. And then after that, I would take the Griffin, and then I would take the Defiant Strike, I think. I don't think I'm going to stoop as low as Goblin Assailant. Okie doke. So in this pack, the most obvious choice for a red-white deck would be Turret Ogre, though of course we aren't necessarily guaranteed to be red-white right now. We could just be white with one of these other colors. That's one of the benefits of taking more generic cards like this. That could be an argument for taking the Griffin, though Martyr for the Cause is going to be a fine 2-drop in any deck with some Planeswalkers as well. Invade the City is not a card that I'm super high on. Generally, you'll make like a 3 out of this, and if you're just putting 3 counters on your creatures, it's just not very good anyway. So I'm not a huge fan of Invade the City. Skulkers does okay sometimes. Opportunist is a little bit better than it looks, though still not great. I think the pick is probably just going to be between Spellkeeper Weird and Turret Ogre. I think I'm more likely to be red-white aggro at this point than blue-white control, just based on what I've seen. I also don't have a ton of instants to work with the Spellkeeper Weird, so we're just going to take the Turret Ogre here. Sometimes it'll do a little bit of extra damage, but a 4-mana 4/3 reach is just an okay card, and you just need those 4-powered 4-drops a lot of the time. I'm not a huge fan of invading Manticore in aggressive decks because it is just a bit expensive. Fall back, you are no match for this. Geez, Samet, a little bit negative there. I think Goblin Assault Team is horrific. I tried it out, and it always just, there's just a lot of cards to make like 1/1s to just completely punish this. I'd much rather take a card like Saheeli Silverwing to have flying and access to flying. Prismite is a card that I could see taking just for more 2-drops, though it doesn't match up well against like cards like Erratic Visionary, and so I'm not a huge fan, though it does let you splash sometimes if you do open a powerful card. I think I'm just going to take the Silverwing, though, for that extra flying to push through more damage. It works nicely if you can get a counter onto it, and there's not a really ton of other great things in this pack. Forced Landing is a great sideboard card because flyers are important in this format. No Escape is okay, but I'm just going to take the Silverwing. It's going to make my deck no matter what, pretty much. And if it doesn't make my deck, it means my deck is great. Rising Populace, a card that I'm pretty happy to get. it works nicely with your more aggressive cards because if they trade off, then you end up ahead, and if they don't trade off, you're getting through that damage you need. So I do like Rising Populace in this red-white type of aggro deck. Only other card to consider really is the Crovod. I guess New Horizons, but we're not green, so we'll take the Populace. And now Sarkhan's Catharsis we could end up in a type of deck that wants Sarkhan's Catharsis. It does really punish people, and I think that this card is actually a legit card in the format, just because you can get in some early damage early, and then just finish them off with Sarkhan's Catharsis. I actually think that in certain white-red decks, you won't want this type of card, because you'll just want all cheap creatures and combat tricks and things like that. But there are some decks that don't get those tools, and then they need a Sarkhan's Catharsis to win the game. And Bond of Passion came back. As I said before, this is going to be a card that I'm relatively happy to play in this deck, just because I think this effect is worthwhile. It does get worse against decks that have Kasmina, so I do recommend siding it out against Kasmina, but that's a little just side note. Honor the Godfather, not really what this deck wants. We want to be affecting the board. And while this doesn't really affect the board, this is like a finisher card, and this just like goes through your deck. So we're just going to take the Bond of Passion here. And now we'll get a 2-drop. Another Sarkhan's Catharsis. And Steady Aim. Okay, so this deck, red-white aggro right now. Wow. Oh, man, this is an unbelievable card, but we can't take it. So let's just get rid of all of our non-red-white aggro cards. So our deck ends up looking relatively solid here. Not all of the cards are insane, and we might want to cut some Sarkhan's Catharsis, but overall looking quite strong. I do like Tibalt. I think Tibalt is a little bit better than Jaya's Greeting. Jaya's Greeting is very efficient removal, but Tibalt is one of the cards that the 2/1/1s are really hard to block. They can also just go face, and they really punish 2/2s and any 1-toughness creature your opponent might have. So I do like Tibalt here over Jaya's Greeting, and nothing else in this pack is particularly close. We're not taking Honor the God Eternals. Maybe we can wheel an Enforcer Griffin. That would be nice, but definitely just taking the Tibalt here. And now we have, once again, the choice between Law Rune Enforcer and Trusted Pegasus. And now we are definitely just taking the Trusted Pegasus. Law Rune Enforcer is the type of card. First of all, it gets worse in multiples because your opponent won't always have that many big creatures. And second of all, Trusted Pegasus is really just the type of card you want in this type of deck. Earlier on, when we took the Law Rune Enforcer, first of all, it was a misclick. But I probably would have ended up taking it anyway. But that was when we had a blue card and a black card. So we didn't have any red cards. We didn't have any reason to be aggressive. But in an aggressive deck, Trusted Pegasus is like your best asset, your best tool for success. Other than that, Iron Bully is a card that could wheel and is a card that I'd be relatively happy playing. It works well if I can get cards. It works well with cards like Martyr for the Cause. It's also just like Menace is nice, but Trusted Pegasus is clearly the pick here. Okie doke. In this pack, Angrath does come to mind. Giving all of my creatures Menace makes them very hard to block, and it does make 2/2s, and it ends up making a 4/4 Menace creature. So I think Angrath is a pretty obvious pick here. Gideon's Triumph, as I said earlier, is not insane, and not a card I super want to take. Sinihiri Stoneblades could be playable if I get more cards like Pouncing Lynx and 1030 Legionnaire, but I don't need to prioritize it because it does tend to come back around, and Angrath is just really good in this type of deck. Wow, this pack is incredible for me. Oh my goodness. Wow, what a pack. So Chandra's Triumph, 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker is just great. Jaya, Venerated Fire Mage is also great. It's a 5-mana, deal 2, and then makes all of your red creatures like extra power. It works insanely well with Tibalt because those tokens do 2 and then die and do 2 more damage. And then this card could wheel. Burning Prophet is a fine card if you get enough combat tricks, and I might want to have some combat tricks with my 10th District Legionnaire. But it's definitely between Jaya and Chandra here. Jaya and Chandra's Triumph. Do I have any removal spells right now? I have Law Rune Enforcer, and that is it for removal. Jaya is a 5-drop, and 5-drops are not as important in more aggressive strategies. I kind of just want to take the Chandra's Triumph just so I have a way to remove cheap blockers that could be annoying and maybe double spell on a crucial turn. I already have a couple of expensive cards. While I'm not 100% sure I want to run the Sarkhan's Catharsis, they could just fill in as a break, and I think Jaya is a little too expensive for this type of deck and a little bit too slow. I'd rather just have the Chandra's Triumph as a faster option. And now we can pick up a Battlefield Promotion or a Makeshift Battalion. We're not going to take another Catharsis over one of these cards. Makeshift Battalion is a fine card, but I think Battlefield Promotion is going to work well with this kind of wanting to attack strategy. It just makes attacking a lot better. Because you can just send in all your guys, and then whatever they block, you just buff it up. I only have, I guess I already have a couple 3-drops. Let's just take the Battlefield Promotion. It's good to get combat tricks in this type of deck. Tybal's Rage is actually quite nice, especially with cards like Battlefield Promotion. It just, a 2-mana 1/2 doesn't look great, but then it pumps itself for relatively cheap. Usually this type of pumping effect costs 3 mana, and then dying to deal 1 damage means that it does is kind of hard to block anyway. Raging Crunch would be fine, but definitely just taking the Rager here. It's the best card by a lot. Another Martyr for the Cause could be good. Always want to prioritize those 2-drops. Right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 2-drops, though we'd ideally get Goblin Assailant out. We don't really need a second Rising Populace. I'm definitely going to take the Martyr for the Cause. We have a couple of counter synergies as well, so definitely just taking the Martyr for the Cause. And yeah, we can probably pick up a Rising Populace later if we really need one. And now it's between Nahiri's Stone Blades. Bulwark Giant is a sideboard card against other aggressive strategies, though I think our deck is aggressive enough that we don't care about other aggressive strategies. We don't need a third Sarkhan's Catharsis, so I think we will just take the Stone Blades. And now Chain Whip Cyclops over Prismite. Prismite's just going to be a really bad 2-drop in this deck. You don't tend to want to splash in your red-white aggro decks because it makes it harder for you to curve out ideally. But Chain Whip Cyclops could be a fine 5-drop to play. And now we will take the Iron Bully. We did mention earlier that it would be a fine card for us to pick up. It works nicely with these Martyr for the Causes. And now we will take Topple the Statue over second Nahiri Stoneblades. Maybe the opponent will have an artifact we need to kill, like Saheeli Silverwing. And a Turret Ogre is not the worst. Got another Catharsis. Okie-doke. Wow. Ral Storm Conduit. I don't think it's a card we want to splash because, as I said, you don't want to splash in this type of deck. Let's see how many instances. We don't really even have the instance to support it. So we're definitely, it is kind of cute with Sarkhan's Catharsis, but I don't think we're taking Ral here. I think we're just going to end up taking Chandra's Pyrohelix or Martyr for the Cause, and I'm leaning towards Chandra's Pyrohelix just because it gives us an effect that we don't really have access to, which is more removal. That being said, Martyr for the Cause is going to be good in this deck. We have a decent number of counter synergies. Chandra's Pyrohelix also works with 10th District Legionnaire. Huh. Now that I think about it, it's actually kind of close between these two cards. Because there's, as I said before, with Sorin's Thirst, there's not a ton of relevant cards to kill with for 2. Though I guess the ability to split it up is quite nice. So I think we'll just take the Pyrohelix here. Sorry, Ral. It just isn't the type of deck that splashes. Samet Tyrant Smasher, eh? Wow, this is actually a tricky pick. Because Samet is the type of card that really looks good when you're ahead because you're just buffing up all your creatures, all your guys have haste. But at the same time, if you're behind, it does literal nothing pretty much. And Enforcer Griffin is the type of card that's like almost always just solid. We could take an On-Crop Invader as another 3-drop. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We already have 4 3-drops. Our deck just has so many playables in it that this pick doesn't matter as much. So we could just go for the higher upside pick of Samet for those matchups where you really want it. I think this is probably the type of deck that just really wants Samet because it just makes all of your creatures able to attack through their stuff. And it scries you to find like relevant cards. I think it's going to be a little bit better than Enforcer Griffin here and On-Crop Invader. So also I haven't gotten a chance to try it out, but I do think, as I said, I'm trying to draft this one like the way I would like at a high level event, and I think it's just a little bit higher upside than the other options in this pack. Well, Bond of Discipline, definitely not a card we're interested in. The War Screecher might be. Bond of Discipline just doesn't do enough. Tapping your opponent's creatures is just not an effective an effect worth a card or 5 mana. War Screecher does have some evasion and can pump the team in the late game, so I think that has some upside. And then Grim Initiative, I just need more 1-drops. I don't think it's going to be the card that I take here. Just because I already have a 1-drop, and this card deck doesn't really utilize the amass as well. So I think we're just gonna take the War Screecher as a card that is a fine 2-drop and good in the late game. And now another Martyr for the Cause over another Turret Ogre, just a fine 2-drop and one I'm pretty happy to play, especially with all the Proliferate synergies. Heartfire is a card that I'm actually relatively happy to play as well. I can sacrifice Martyr for the Cause to proliferate. I can deal with a problematic Planeswalker or permanent, and I don't really need more 3-drops in Makeshift Battalion or Iron Bully, though either of them would be fine in this deck. So we're just going to take Heartfire as a more unique effect. And now we don't need multiple Heartfires. We can just take Raging Crunch here. 3 mana 4/3 as an attacker is just going to be very effective in our deck. It's going to be better than the Conjurant, I think. And now we do want another battlefield promotion. More combat tricks are better for this deck. And Teo's Light Shield could be playable, though I'm not 100% sure we will end up playing it. Just gonna take the 2-drop here. We probably aren't playing the Goblin Assailant we have. Let's just take the Planar Beacon just for the extra cards. And then Charm Stray maybe as a sideboard option. I'm not sure if we want it, but let's just we would hate draft the Snare Spinner here. Another Topple the Statue. Okie doke. So this deck ended up great. Let's see how we want to build it. I'm just gonna change my card back for some cool stuff here. Okay, so first of all, we have to decide, do we want to play Sarkhan's Catharsis? I think the answer is not in the main deck, and I think Chain Whip Cyclops is a little bit weak as well, so we can probably get rid of that. And then Bond of Passion costing 6 mana is fine because we don't want to cast it until late in the game anyway. We can probably run 16 lands in this deck. We have a lot of 4-drops. We probably can't run 16 lands. We have ways to scry away extra lands and a little bit of mana sinks. Looking at our cards, I think Teo's Light Shield is a little bit weak on the weaker end, so we'll cut that. I think we'll cut the Nahiri's Stone Blades. Man, wait, what does this work with? No, it doesn't work with Samet as well, but it's still going to be quite nice. Silverwing, probably not the greatest card in this deck. I think we'll just cut that. Turd Ogre is fine, but not exceptional, so we could probably cut one of those if we needed to. Let's cut a Goblin Assailant. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 2-drops. I think Nahiri's Stoneblades is not the greatest. Yeah, let's cut Nahiri's Stoneblades. We already have 2 battlefield promotions. Yeah, this deck looks pretty solid to me. Let's look at it in this form to see what our worst cards are. Worst card probably is... Dang, our deck just has a lot of solid cards. Iron Bully is medium. Another Turd Ogre, relatively medium. I think Turd Ogre would be the cut if we wanted to add something. What do we want to add, though? We could add a Chain Whip Cyclops just for some more evasion. We could add Sarkhan's Catharsis. I think we'll just play with the Turd Ogre. And then let's look at our color requirements in the little editor thing. We have 12 red and 11 white. But let's double check that we have a lot of our white cards are like combat tricks, so we don't need those as much as the 2-drops. In other colors, 9-8 seems like a fair split, especially because we have so many double red cards. Yeah, 9-8 is definitely the correct split. And let's run it like this. Let me know in the comments section down below how many wins you think this deck is going to make, what you think of the deck, what any picks you would have done differently, and any feedback whatsoever is appreciated. Okie doke. I think this deck is pretty solid. We will play first. This is definitely a play first kind of deck, and a great hand. 2-drop into 3-drop into battlefield promotion. Definitely what you want to be doing with this type of deck. I think this is if this hand can't win, barring like unforeseen circumstances, then this deck probably just doesn't have what it takes to compete, because this is like the ideal scenario. If my opponent doesn't play a creature, I still don't think I'm planning to play the Crunch because it's such a disaster if they kill my 10th Legionnaire. Okay. Let's just attack. He could have a Divine Arrow. Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't double buff this out of range. But I do have to keep myself attacking, and Trusted Pegasus is a fine substitute. Let's play the Raging Crunch here and then just pass. We don't want to have to use battlefield promotion. If we had a second white mana, we would have just done that and then had the Pouncing Links as well. But now this turn we'll just play the Angrath, minus it. Then these guys can both attack past the Shriek Diver. Okay, actually, yeah, let's just do that. It's just the higher safety play as well. Because now if he kills my Trusted Pegasus, I still have this 2/2 to keep the Raging Crunch attacking. Wow. So my opponent's deck is relatively well suited for this matchup because Divine Arrow is good in the aggro matchups and bad in the control matchups. My opponent is relatively incentivized to attack this Angrath with his Shriek Diver. And my opponent double blocks. We will... Oh, he can't double block because of flying. Get wrecked. We will just play 2 creatures here. One of which will be the Martyr for the Cause. The Lynx is the worst creature because it doesn't work as well with Battlefield Promotion. And my opponent does kind of have to attack the Angrath again. Oh. So I think this turn I can get in for 7. And I think that's probably correct. Because then next turn I threaten lethal. It's close though. Because I could get in for 4. And also... that's probably better. This doesn't have trample. And this way I can attack and do some protection against Sorin's Thirst, potentially. Though he would have done that. He would have used Sorin's Thirst pre-combat. And we will play Tybalt. If he does attack with Shriek Diver, then we kill him. So I'm not concerned about that. Because we will attack with this, double pump this, and attack with this as well. Okay, Enforcer Griffin, that's fine. So if we attack with everything, give this flying. Okay, let's just do some complicated math here. If we attack with it, he's at a guaranteed 7. If we attack, he's blocking here. We double pump this. And if he blocks Martyr for the Cause, I get to proliferate on it, Tybalt, and make another 1/1, which will also deal 1 more damage to him. Okay, now I can pump this and battle for promotion it. And we will finish off his... I think his army token before he can proliferate on it and make it a 2/2. Wow, that was not how I thought that stack would go. Well, that was bad. Thank you for that learning experience, I guess. I thought that mine would go first, but I guess I thought my ability would resolve before his resolved. How do you know whose death trigger resolves first? I thought it was the active player's resolves first. He has a board wipe. Oh no, why didn't I kill this thing? Whoops. Wow, I also could have killed the Shriek Diver last time. Wow, Finale of Cruelty was brutal there. I kind of butchered this game a little bit. I should have killed Lazotep Reaver and Shriek Diver, and then I'd be in actually good shape. If we didn't have those two cards, then I would be fine. And also, yeah, this thing being a 3/3 is a problem. Yeah, I messed up this game in many ways. Oh my gosh. You know what they say, though. All it takes is a bond of passion to win the game. Oh, that's nice. Lovely. So yeah, I messed up this game in many ways. Nahiri, yikes. So we've got this game regardless here. If he attacks both at Samet, which is probably the correct play, because giving my creatures haste is bad, then we win. Otherwise, we will just take his 3/3. And kill the Wanderer. And now we can hopefully this wins us the game. We butchered this game really badly, but all attack, kill my opponent. Please work. Yes! Oh my gosh, we crossed the finish line. Whew, that was a badly played game. My apologies to everyone. Yikes, that was a catastrophe. Well, Saheeli Silverwing seems decent in the matchup. Let's see what we would want to take out. What seemed bad? Turret Ogre doesn't seem great because he does have the Wanderer to just really wreck Turret Ogre. So we are going to cut a Turret Ogre, I think, in favor of a Sarkhan's Catharsis, or we'll just play the Silverwing. Flyers seem nice in this matchup. I know. Yeah. Okay, this hand is not keepable. We don't have white mana. We don't have any of our best cards. Okay, this hand is much better. Keep it. Scry that to the bottom. We don't want lands. We want action. I could have sworn I put that on the bottom. I know we have a lot of planes in the deck, though. I don't think we want to suicide this guy into a potential Divine Arrow. We know he has 2 of them. We'll just keep him around. Martyr for the cause, sure thing. We're going to make this guy into a 2/2 because we want to diversify our threats in the face of a potential Divine Arrow, which is the best spot play here for my opponent. We know he has several of them. No attacks. We're gonna try and, since our hand is kind of bad, we're gonna try and play around Divine Arrow for a little bit at least. Sure. Let's kill the Martyr for the cause. Perfect. We'll just attack with these 2. Keep up the Alarm Enforcer to keep tapping the Griffin. If my opponent ever goes for a removal spell, we'll Heart Fire the Griffin or face, depending on the situation. Perfect. We'll let him attack. Perfect. And Healy Silverwing is actually a nice draw there. And now that we have 3 creatures in play, Divine Arrow is a lot less scary. It's only going to take 2 power off the board. So we're still hitting him for 3. Okay, now it's kind of scarier. But we're still just going to go for it. He only has 1 card in hand. If he does play a big creature, we kill him because of our Bond of Passion. We are going to keep this land in hand to play around a Davriel or something. Now we just need another creature. But we had to get through the Divine Arrow eventually, and now we are chipping away. We're not going to use our battlefield promotion just yet. We just don't want to waste a card. We're keeping this thing safe. Oh, this is perfect. Oh my gosh. You have been promoted and are now safe, War Screecher. Whew. Yes. We don't want him to kill our 10th Legionnaire with this Nahiri. And that is how we drew it up. Perfectamundo. Wow, saving that battlefield promotion really paid off. Generally not good to just spew cards if you can avoid it. Okie doke. I think that was a pretty good demonstration of what a deck can do. Let's double check that we don't want to make any changes. Do we want... The only change we made that match was taking out a Turret Ogre for a Silver Wing, but I think Turret Ogre is generally going to be good. Whew. Wow. Our Bond of Passion really did work in those 2 games. It's just nice to have an expensive card in your deck a lot of these times. Play first. Oh, this is a great hand. Oh my goodness. Martyr for the Cause works really nicely with Angrath, because it buffs Angrath himself and the masked token. Get in while the going's good, 10th District Legionnaire. You got this. Jaya's Outburst. Oh, Burning Prophet. Time to enter the full control mode for the optimal bluffing. Got him. And now we will play Pouncing Lynx. Let's play Martyr for the Cause, actually, because Martyr for the Cause will do better once we play this Angrath the next turn. So next turn we're going to play Angrath, be able to hit him again. Hugin's Conjurant, eh? Okay, we'll play Angrath and minus. No attacks here. We want to make sure we get the full value off of doing this again, and we want to have hold of our fake combat trick. Or just draw a combat trick. We have drawn a little bit too many mountains this game compared to plains, but that is just something that happens in a lot of limited games. Opponent is thinking, so that's... I think if he attacks Angrath, we will double block with Martyr for the Cause and our token onto the 3/3 and not block Burning Prophet. Because, yeah, we will presumably... Oh, goodness. Yikes. That is a scary card, but the life loss could be relevant, so we have to just put pressure on him before that wins in the game. Alternately, we could just let Angrath die and hit him for 6, though it seems worse than killing the Conjurant. So he'll have to double block probably 10th District Legionnaire. We definitely have to attack here. Gotta get him to a low life total so the Dreadhorde invasion can kill him. And then we'll double spell. We'll play both these guys. We're definitely willing to sacrifice a 2/2 to get through 6 damage. And my opponent did play around a combat trick earlier, so they are in a tricky spot here. And we're just going to add 2 more creatures to the board. Wow. And we do shrink the Ugin's Conjurant, so. Brutal. Well, we do get another counter on our Angrath. Hopefully we can draw a combat trick here. Our Tybalt's Rage is coming in hot next turn, though. He's going to get pumped up to 7 power. So Healy doesn't do much unless my opponent has another spell here. You know what would be really nice here is an actual combat trick. Huh. Why can't we block it? So we block like this, we lose Tybalt's Rager or Pouncing Lynx, but we kill this guy. And this is worth it. This is a really good opportunity for us to block it too, because if he kills this, we kill the zombie army. And if he does have like a Jaya's thing, we're in bad shape anyway. If he has Jaya's Greeting, we're in bad shape regardless. Oh my gosh, Heartfire. Okay, that is bad. Wow, this guy just has it. Okay, we'll kill this. Doo-doo-doo. Okay, so we need him to whiff. Oh, that was a good draw. We have to play this guy now, so we can all out attack. If he has a third Heartfire, I swear. I should have minused in case he did have another Heartfire, I guess. We're holding this mountain, though it might just be better to play it out. So my opponent is on a little bit of a clock here, and this token's going to deal another damage to him. If he has an amass card, it gets a little bit trickier. I just need him to whiff. Either draw double black cards or useless cards. I think blocking is worth it here because we're going to get another token, which means another face damage, which means less time for him to recover. Oh no. Oh yes. So do we, I think we give the token haste. All face. Face is the place. He's going to have to block, block, or block, block, and then we'll finish off the Spark Reaper. Get rid of any life gain he might have. And then he can't, I guess he can kill the Samet. But if he kills the Samet, then we get in for another 2, and he'll be dead. So he can't really kill the Samet, which means our Martyr for the Cause is probably getting in. Well, that's real bad. Oh, he just drew his swamp so he could cast that Vraska. Oh, he wasn't able to gain life from the Spark Reaper, so I guess we didn't have to prioritize killing that. But I guess keeping Tybalt alive was going to be tricky either way. Yep, do not need that. So both of these are must block threats. We're just trying to stay alive for another 3 turns. He'll die to his own Dreadhorde invasion. Keep him at a low life total. All that good stuff. He has 1, 2, 3. He has 2, 4 damage here. So he has to kill Samet here, or this thing will force a trade with this. And then he has 2 turns to kill me. Actually, only 1 more attack step to kill me. He can't kill me on his next turn, so I think we've got this one. Unless he top decks life gain. Because even if he hits me for 4, he then has to trade off this 1/1. And I would be at 16. And I would be at 16. Oh, he's killing Samet. Okay. Yeah, I think that was eliminating all of his outs, maybe, depending on what's in his deck. Because I would be at 16, and then he would have... Oh, nice. No attacks, end turn. So he's almost dead. Because if he had made this unable to block, sacrificed on upkeep, sacrificed the new one, this goes up to 6. 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I don't think he could have killed me before we got him with his own Dreadhorde invasion. Okay. So now those trade. Oh, yes, we got him. GG, buddy. GG. So let's look at his graveyard. He's got a couple heart fires. Those are really important to keep in mind. Dreadhorde Invasion, which is a problem. How do we play around Heartfire? I guess it's just a way we play in it rather than like specific things we do. We don't really want to go all out on one creature, I guess. Sarkhan's Catharsis has some real potential in a matchup where he has Dreadhorde. I don't think we want Turret Ogre. It's just an expensive card. He also has a lot of Planeswalkers. Let's just play the Sarkhan's Catharsis. He has a lot of Planeswalkers, so one Turret Ogre is not as good here. Because, I mean, not Planeswalker. He has a lot of deal 4s, which means playing a 4-drop that dies to his 2-drop is not as good. And we don't want Teo's Light Shield because going all in on one creature is not as good when they're just going to kill it for 2 mana. Sarkhan's Catharsis definitely has potential here. He also has a lot of Planeswalkers that we can kill with it. We can kill a Saheeli with it. We can kill Vraska, though he would have already gotten the token from it, so killing Vraska is not as appealing. This is a great hand. We're going to keep this one. I didn't want to side up the second Turret Ogre because we still do want a decent number of creatures. This is a great hand, though. 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop, 5-drop. If you click on the statue enough, it falls apart. There we go. Come on. Boom. There's our own Heartfire, which could be good for some nice Heartfire on Heartfire shenanigans. Land is the perfect draw. Because if my opponent goes to Heartfire my creature, and then I Heartfire his other creature in response, I end up so far ahead. It's great. It really is. Also, if I sacrifice a Tibalt token to a Heartfire, I can get even more value. Oh, also I can sacrifice Tibalt to Heartfire. Oh, yes. Okay. So we're going to go minus Tibalt, Pyre Helix, submit, Heartfire, submit. This is just the most mana efficient play available to us. And then we can Turret Ogre next turn. And we'll ping his face, grow our Rising Populace. Keep in mind, we just need to get him down to 5. And growing our Rising Populace means we can get 2 more damage in with this. And also now it can attack past Burning Prophet. I don't think killing Saheeli is a huge concern for us right now. I'm a little confused there. He blocked this one last turn. Oh, Neheb. Neheb, my friend. So if we attack with both of these and then pump with War Screecher. If we attack with this guy, he'll block it with this guy. Yeah, well, I just like this attack. Get him low. If he blocks here, it dies. Perfect. And now he's at 5, and our good friend Sarkhan's Catharsis gonna get the job done, holding this land in case he has Davriel. Of course. Playing around Davriel, not around Davriel's Shadow Fugue, because if he has Shadow Fugue, we win. Oh, yes. Good game, buddy. Style points. Oh, yes. We could have just attacked him probably with Angrath stuff, or we had a decent number of routes to victory there, but Sarkhan's didn't want us to hit that turn, and it's always good to get those W's. One moment, I'm going to close a door. Two and 0, undefeated here on the victory train hype. This is actually my first time playing white-red, but I am pleased with the result. I think it's a good deck if you build it correctly and know what you need to prioritize. This hand is not good. Let's just say that much. This hand's much better, and that's one of our better cards, so we will keep that for sure. Pouncing Links into Iron Bully seems like a fine combo. But I still think we'll just start off with our 10th District Legionnaire, because it gets in guaranteed damage, and you never know when they'll play a Stonewall blocker. Let's just trade here. Whoa. That's good for us. Whew. I mean, I guess he just doesn't want to get owned by a combat trick. Sure. Fine by me. I'm fine racing, buddy. I can race all day. Oh, that was a great draw. Now we can double 2-drop. And the next turn, Iron Bully. Oh, I wish this got pumped every time Trusted Pegasus targeted it. That would be awesome. Every time it got targeted by a spell or ability. Okay, opponents at 12. We have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh my gosh, this is literally the dream. Let's pump up Trusted Pegasus. If he blocks here, he takes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's roll. For some reason, this door keeps coming open. I'll be right back. Yeah, I missed them scooping. Aw, that's so sad. Okay, so this is an aggro mirror, which means you definitely don't want Sarkhan's Catharsis type cards in the matchup. Or at least it seems like an aggro mirror. Don't really need the Silverwing, I don't think. I'm getting trolled. It's unbelievable. These doors just keep coming open. Every time I close them. Teo's Light Shield has some potential because it can buff a creature and then chump block, but I think we're just going to go with our main deck configuration. Our Law Rune Enforcer could be good in this matchup. Definitely mulliganing. If it had a second land, it'd be great because Pyre Helix has potential in this matchup, but definitely want a more keepable hand. Now we just need to find our second color. It's not the end of the world if we don't find it exactly turn 2 because we have 2 2-drops, though obviously we prefer to lead with the 10th District Legionnaire. And we got there. Our deck mulligans relatively well because lands after like land 3 aren't insane. So, We'll trade off these. Get our Tibalt down. We just want to get make the most mana efficient play. And getting Tibalt down means next turn we can go 2-drop plus Chandra's Triumph, or 2-drop 2-drop, or something like that. And we can totally get value out of our Chandra's Triumph later. Oh, of course. The Gideon Blackblade. That's not good for us. No good at all. We will kill the Gideon here. Next turn we'll kill Gideon with Chandra's Triumph, potentially. Rats. I kind of wanted to hold up Chandra's Triumph, but at the same time, it's kind of hard to do that. No blocks. Oh, we can't cast it. Rats. Let's just all attack at Gideon. One, two, three. Kill Gideon. Make another devil token. That works out fine. Yikes. Dang it. If only we could have wrecked his Courage in Crisis. No blocks. No attacks. So I'm getting attacked for 9 here. He could have a combat trick, but I don't think we can beat a combat trick. So let's just try and trade off the zombie army, because trading off the zombie army means that our we can get another 2/2 next turn, which is better than just putting 2 counters on a 2/2 we already have. So we block like this. Then double block there. This thing dies, and we're left with a creature. This is the best blocks for us. Iron Bully's going to have double menace. Oh, we messed this up. Because he got to leave this alive. Whoops. Yeah, I really messed up that block. Okay, no attacks. I think we want to put the counter onto the Rising Populace, because Rising Populace is going to get scary. Oh dear. Oh dear. So that one block kind of screwed us. If we had not blocked with, I guess it was a tricky block. I think we had to block more 1/1s onto his 5/5 and the 1/3 onto the 1/4, 4/4, and just, yeah, we'd lose. Okay. Moving on. Yeah, if we'd killed all of his guys, I think we still would have lost just because of the way we drew, but it's definitely Still a misplay. So he has Gideon A. So against Gideon... Oh, man. I don't think we make any changes here. Play first. Great hand. We do need to hit our third land, but on the play, you're 70% to hit your third land, and if this hand hits its third land, it has a ton of things to play. And we have a lot of 2-drops, so we could draw on turn 2, but ideally we just want to draw a land for that sense of security. Okay, perfect. Let's get Tibalt down first. Sure. That's a fine trade for us. He doesn't have a 4/4 now, but our turret ogre can trade with that. That's actually fine for us. Okay, now we will play this and kill his Law Rune Enforcer. Actually, I did the math badly there. That was horrific. Shoot. Oops. Okay, martyr for the cause, sure. Let's just pass turn. Okay, how are we going to get rid of this rising populace? I don't think we can. Just a 5/5 is just huge. Huge board presence here. Oh my gosh. Well, we're going to have to Chandra's Triumph that one. So I could, in theory, block here, ping my own guy just to put 2 counters on my rising populace. Yes, okay. What? I cannot believe he blocked like that. What the heck happened? Okay. hold up Chandra's Triumph in case he goes for Courage and Crisis. Sure, now we can just kill Vivian. I think killing Vivian is definitely the play here. Perfect. Ah, shoot. Never mind. That is not perfect. That is a catastrophe. Actually, never mind. We drew the perfect card here. Nice. Rats. It had to be Bloomhulk, didn't it? Oh my gosh. Well. We have a lot of menace. Perfect. His Dovin is not. Oh my gosh, his Dovin isn't dead. This has menace, so we're good on that front. Might have been better to wait till after combat. This has been really an irritating Vivian read. He has how many Martyr for the Cause does he have? 1, 2, 3, 4 Martyr for the Cause and Bloomhulk? This is ludicrous. Now it has Vigilance. Oh, he couldn't block it anyway, but it's still good to pump it up. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Arboreal Grazer? That's actually hilarious. He doesn't have an ultimate on this, though. Oh my gosh. Wow. Menace makes this really a solid place to be. So now these guys both have Flying and Menace. These two are coming at Dovin. Oh my god. You have got to be kidding me. Well, that's a catastrophe. Wow. Finally, she's dead. Okay. Okay, no blocks. Yes, that is what I'm talking about. Go for the double block. Using this to maximize damage. Boom! Biggest rising populace ever. The populace has risen. Phooey. Sure. Only a casual 10 damage. Ooh, man. I suspect this card is not castable, and I suspect his last card is a land. But I'm not out of the woods yet. But that draw of him drawing a plains or something useless helped. Good game indeed. He did make that one kind of poor block with his rising populace, but overall, pretty well played game. I can't believe I beat that Vivian. That Vivian was a monster, and so was the Dovin. He just kept proliferating. Well, we got to 3 wins. Let's see how many more wins we can go. I'm sure all of you believed in me from the very beginning. All of you voted for 5 wins in the comments. Whew. This deck has been performing excellently. I'm very proud of it. Good work, deck, as they say. That was a pretty good match, though. Opponent had a good deck as well. He had that Vivian. Oops. I accidentally hit some buttons. I don't know exactly what they do, but you never know. Whew. Okay, cool. MRSH. Mr. Schwiggy. Let's play. I will keep this hand. You can't actually cast the Samet, but Tybalt's Rager is a fine 2-drop. We have a combat trick. You can't really mulligan hands like this if you want to have long-term success. Sure, I could definitely do better on 6, but I could also do significantly worse. And it has some playability to it. Like, I could outplay my opponent with a potential pump, battlefield promotion type deal, and Samet can do really good things in my deck if my opponent is slower. Oh my gosh, this statue cannot be allowed to stand. I just destroyed it like 10 seconds ago. Get out of here, statue. Boom. Whoa. Summon the Gatewatch. Ooh, these effects are cool. I like them. Oh, that was a good draw. We are going to just attack and not pump. Actually, so. Yeah, we're not going to pump here because we want to be able to end of turn Chandra's Pyrohelix, and that's not worth. The ability to do that is, yeah, better. Oh, yes. Outplayed opponent. unfortunately, we don't have any creatures right now, so our salmon is pretty bad, but we'll still play it onto an empty board if there is an empty board. Hopefully he plays a flux channeler, because then I can kill it. We're only killing this card because we want to get as many activations out of our salmon as possible. And, yeah, we're definitely going to make sure Samet gets into play. And if our... Because this way it gets in under counter magic and stuff. Minus onto this guy. That's a great card to have here. With a Bond of Passion on the way, giving all my guys Menace is definitely a step up in the world. Please go for Chandra's Power Helix on Rising Populace. Getting to use my Battlefield promotion this turn would be awesome. What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you Samet and walk out on me? That doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry. Let's go. Okay, my turn. We're kind of playing into a counterspell here. But I just have to kind of hope he doesn't have it. Perfect. Yes. Yes, now it has Menace, so we're even better. We're going to buff up this guy. Because if he does kill, that Rising Populace gets buffed. Heartfire, yeah. Oh, yes, we'll keep Chandra's Triumph. Oh, he killed Angrath. Wow, okay, that's actually a high-level play. Probably the smart play. Almost definitely the correct play. We'll just rely on drawing a land to cast Bond of Passion later. And it gets double buffed. Yeah, I'll put that on top because that's probably just game. Yeah. He did stumble on mana. If we can, we kind of want to avoid showing him Bond of Passion. But we'll just probably end up having to do it. Some nights I stay up, cashing in my bad luck. Okay, sure. That doesn't matter. It comes back the next end step. Boom! Let's go. Another victory for the good guys. So he's a blue-red deck, which means you oftentimes don't... I mean, sometimes you want to use... I mean, I don't think we really want Sarkhan's Catharsis here. We can just use our creatures. Our creatures are big enough that it won't matter. He's not like a super board stally deck. Against those decks, bringing in like a couple Sarkhan's Catharsis can be really effective. Okay, this hand is great. We have a 2-drop, even though the 2-drop does get wrecked by some of his cards. Maybe we should have sided out Pouncing Lynx. The more I think about it, the worse it seems. Oh my gosh, yeah, Pouncing Lynx has got to go. I should have sided it out based on what I saw in the first game. Erratic Visionary and Grim Initiate. It just gets wrecked by both of those cards. Oh my gosh, and double Burning Prophet. Oh, this game is not going well. Okay, so if he goes for an upkeep, okay, yeah, this is generally not a good play because you want to maximize your odds of playing something on curve. So if he like was to draw a 4-drop this turn, it would be so much better for him to play that. That being said, there are some specific circumstances where you would do this. Generally, I have found that it is not worth going for. It's also very low value to kill my Pouncing Lynx. I think it is a waste of a card, essentially, because Pouncing Lynx was already basically useless. Already completely useless. Like, if he had saved it and killed my Turret Ogre with it, then that would have been quite something. Okay, so we kept a 4-lander and drew a land every turn, and our Pouncing Lynx is horrific in this matchup, so if we somehow win this, it's a miracle. You know, all we need is another Turret Ogre to win this. Because he only has one card in hand. Dang, if we had drawn... Actually, we still have multiple draw steps. Yeah, like, literally we just need a Martyr of the Cause to stop this thing and block one of those guys. Because he's color screwed right now. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. Yeah, we're definitely blocking because, like, what could he possibly have that, like, I care about in this spot? We will attack. Wow, he has a lot of Burning Prophets. This Bond of Passion is looking very bad. Oh, yes, and the lands do cometh. Once he draws an island, I'm not in great shape. Oh, man. Why would I say that? Oh, my gosh. This Jaya is straight up unbelievable right now. We just lose. Oh, my gosh. Kills Martyr. Attacks all these things. Yeah, we lose. Okay, let's game. Because he just attacks with all these things, and they essentially have 3 power because of Jaya. Okay, Pouncing Lynx is getting out. Do I have any other 2/1s? Because that was a lot of 1/3s. Let's bring in the Stone Blades. That's actually a good card to beat down on those Stone Blades a little bit. Okay. Because the 1/3s double block, and then you kill a couple of them. I don't know. It just seems like a solid strategy. Stoneblades wasn't like all that unplayable in this deck to start with anyway. Okay, we'll keep this hand. We may not have any of our cheap plays, but we can just draw one of them. And Samet is definitely a good card. I'm so glad I took it. It has performed very well. I think we go this into Samet into Trusted Ogre, because then Trusted Ogre has haste. Spellgorger, weird, eh? Actually, this was a horrible play. What was I thinking? Actually, you know, Samet's... If he attacks Samet, that's, like, not great, I guess. He just needs any non-creature spell. Yeah, that was a really bad play. Oh, that was so bad. I should have played Turret Ogre. Okay, so Spellgorger Weird is going to get huge, which means Bond of Passion is actually going to be quite nice here. But yeah, I messed that up very badly. So if we draw a land here, I think we're in good shape. I kind of want to take the Spellgorger Weird to win the game, but at the same time, just killing it with Heartfire is kind of appealing. Okay, with that land draw, I think it's likely enough that we draw a land before we'll have to see. Okay, now is the time to choose. So he's doing 2 damage to that. So we can just kill Spellgorger Weird. Yeah, let's kill it. Because you never know when you're going to draw your 6th land, and yeah. I feel okay about that play. Not the greatest, but and we have a little bit of life gain here. We're actually going to fire this off here. Get in that extra damage. Because putting him to 8 is going to be nice, and we already have 1 extra in the tank, so we have to use our cards at some point. Okay, and Jaya is a card that I was thinking about, but I could have wrecked him if he'd gone for the -2, I guess. So we can go... He's going face, so he's going to attack me with both of them. So if I go end of turn, pump this up to 4, 2 to face. We're going to just kill Jaya. This battle promotion giving us 2 life is going to be very relevant here. Oh, perfect. Please target my Iron Bully. Please target my Iron Bully. Now I have 2 3/3s. If I draw a land, I just win. First strike, buddy. That's why I didn't want to use my, rely on Bond of Passion, because if I had tried to keep that Spellgorger Weird alive so I could take it, I would have lost there, because I never drew a land. Whew. That is how we drew it up. Oh, yes. 1 more win, and we've gotten to max wins, folks. I believe the world is gonna find a to do. Okay, this is a mulligan. We can't use Crunch as an attacker, and this is a 6-drop, and we have 5 lands. Okay, this is much better. Keep that on top, because we need to be able to cast our Samut soon. Samut works really well with the links. Okay, Lawry Enforcer. Okay. Okay. A mild annoyance. Oh, gosh, I have flashbacks to time this card has wrecked me. So we'll probably end up killing the Law Rune Enforcer. Or the Grateful Apparition, depending on what he plays here. Where is he going to put the counter? I got a pocket full of value. I got a pocket full, it's all mine, yeah. Oh, wow. That was lucky that I held up removal. Feels good, man. I just want your approval. Oh. Oh, wow. Bond of Passion. Kill Law Reinforcer, take one of your creatures. Oh, so much value. Oh, so much value. So much win. Yeah, I kind of walked into that one. Yeah, maybe not a great spot there. That could have gone better. Maybe I should have been suspicious of him letting me attack. I think we want to get a little bit better value out of this Bond of Passion rather than just 6 mana kill a Law Rune Enforcer. Okay, this is a little bit better because we get to take a point off of the Ashiok now. Wow, he milled all spells. What a monster. Oh man, that's the worst. Okay, now I'm slightly ahead on board. I have a decent number of good draws left, but I now... Oh, yes, mill those lands, buddy. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm going to kill the Ashiok this turn. Really? He really thinks that mill is his way to victory here. I'm still going to have 10 cards even after Ashiok's done with his dirty work. Wow, he has milled a lot of lands recently. If I can draw some spells. He's milled 6 lands. I have 9 lands here. Of course, I draw one of my remaining 2 lands. He milled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then this is 8, and this is 2. So I have 1 land left in my entire deck. You've got to be kidding me. Watch him mill 4 non-lands, and then I draw the last land. Oh my gosh. This is just a joke. Guess you're not worried about milling until you can't draw a spell to save your life. Wow, that would have been good last turn. Yeah, this game's over. This is a matchup where Sarkhan's Catharsis will be great. I think we lost this game. because the board does get stalled, and even though it's bad against Bulwark Giant, we can maybe kill him before Bulwark Giant comes into play. I usually don't want to proliferate onto my guy. It's a phenomenal opportunity. Yep, that's the last land. Could we have just drawn the land like a little bit later? Is that too much to ask? Jeez. So we have 5 spells in our deck. Which spells are they? It doesn't really matter. Oh my gosh, this guy's got a ton of life gain. So he has a couple of Law Rune Enforcers. Yeah, we don't have enough power to kill him here. Ugh. I think even though he does have a lot of life gain, the Sarkhan's Catharsis plan is our best bet to win this game. And the Silver Wing. And we'll cut the Turret Ogres and the... Raging Crunch. All the cards that are bad against Law Rune Enforcer are kind of meh. And then we will cut a... So we cut our expensive cards and our, I guess, kind of our hard hitters in a way, which is not great. I guess we'll cut Samet. No, Samet's good. We cut a lot of the cards that are good with Samet. No, that's not true. Let's cut Iron Bully. Sure. Let's just hope this is good enough. He has a decent amount of life gain. We saw 8 points of life gain, I believe. So we'll just have to hope he doesn't draw his Bulwark Giant. But other than that, should be able to get him. Jeez, mulligan this hand. We don't have a 2-drop. We don't have any lands. Unfortunate, but we have to do it. And we'll keep this one. This hand is much better. I would say significantly better. We'll keep that on top. We do want to draw spells after all, and Tybalt's Rager can prevent life gain, which is actually important. Enchanted Pyre Helix can kill Law Rune Enforcer. And he doesn't have one on turn 1, which is great. Oh my gosh, opponent discarding to hand size on turn 2? What did they keep? They must have like a Guild Globe or something? I have no idea. We can just win this game for free and then have a... Oh. I was so optimistic. Wow, okay. That makes kind of sense, but at the same time, it really makes no sense. You never keep that hand, ever. I mean, is he planning on, like, looting to find what he needs? Because that means he's not doing anything to advance his board, and he knows I'm an aggressive deck. Oh my gosh, this is so stupid. What? He just draws 2 lands in a row? Oh my gosh. Just end me. Okay, so he's going to double block one of those. Perfect, perfect. Do him first. 1/1. Next to damage. And now all my guys have menace. You can't gain life. Sure. Apparition it up. Oh, yes. The sideboard tech. I don't think we're supposed to pump this a second time, but maybe we are, just because then if this dies and we Sarkons and we win. Getting another Menace guy into play is appealing. Nice. Nice little bit of life gain you got there, buddy. Old pal. He has to chump Tibalt Rager. No use in hiding it. Don't want to just get... I don't think we can lose, but maybe he has like Teferi's Time Ravel into life gain or some weird scenario. Jeez. This is tricky, tricky, tricky. Da 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 da. Let's just run it back. So he kept a very sketchy hand, so maybe he'll make a poor decision again, and we'll really be able to get that W. Oh yes, this is a great hand. Lawren Enforcer on turn 1 does put a little bit of a damper on it. We do have a lot of ways to kill this. Hopefully we find a land so we can go Martyr for the Cause, Trust of Pegasus, Pouncing Lynx, Trident of Triumph. I'm fine trading off for a Menace guy. Come on, land. You can do it. I believe in you. Right off the top deck. Right off the top. My opponent drew 3 lands in a row last game, so there's got to be some justice. Yes. Pouncing Lynx. We'll kill Lawren Enforcer now. No attacks. Next turn we can get the Silverwing down. Oh no, Karn's Bastion. That's a scary card. I kind of want to kill this token now before it gets out of control with Karn's Bastion. Okay, they're drawing a land. Ashiok. Oh my gosh, that's so good for me. Oh my gosh, that's unbelievably good for me. Not only did he mill lands, but that was just so good for me. Oh my goodness. Please take it. Okay. No, I should have played my Tibalt first. Oh man, did that just lose me the game? Rats. Oh man, if he was at 10, would this be significantly different? Oh my gosh, no, my Sargon's Triumph number 2. Shoot. He milled 4 lands, 4 spells, rats. I feel like he's just going to Karn's Bastion it up. So basically, if he didn't have Ashiok, I'd be in fine shape. But as it is, because of this Ashiok, I'm screwed. Because he doesn't need to actually win the game. Because otherwise I would just draw to my Sarkon's thing. If he was at 10 life, how different would this game be? Very different, because then second Sarkons would actually be a legit win condition. As it is, I just have to hope that he whiffs on this and misses my Sarkon's thing with his Ashiok. Yes. Very good. No! Oh my gosh, we choked this game so hard. Oh, never play around Battlefield promotion, get wrecked, I guess. New plan. Rats, we would have won this game if we played that Tibalt pre-combat. We can still win it though. Wow, I wish we'd just gone face with that one now. Oh my goodness. Dang it, I think we choked this in a major way. If he had been at 2 less life, we would have won. So I guess it's one of those games that you like could have won, so oh. Yeah, we would have won this game if because we would have just gone face face. Oh my gosh. Rats. Well, we do have one last chance to get the 5 wins, but we could have gotten to 5 wins that game. I don't know why I didn't play Tibalt pre-combat. I just wasn't thinking about Battlefield promotion, I guess. So I wanted to make him unsure what I had, but that was just a mistake because Battlefield promotion is a card. And maybe he would have cast it in response, but I don't know. Probably wouldn't have. That would have been just a bad play if he'd cast it in response. Maybe he would have. You never know. I don't think he's going to be playing around the double Sarkons, so. Looks like we got this rising populace going. I like it. I wish they had a different art for this NicolaiBolas avatar. I like the Amonkhet one. I guess that wouldn't make sense to have that one, but I hope they bring that to MTG Arena sometime. That's my favorite one, I think. We will attack, and we're going to use our Battlefield promotion here. Chandra's Triumph is way more flexible, and this also gives our creature a permanent buff. Using your combat tricks when you can, when your opponent's tapped out, is generally just the best play. Yeah, like now we have Chandra's Triumph for this thing. Glad he didn't have giant growth there. That could have been awkward. Yeah, this game's over, I think. If we get our Bond of Passion down. Oh man. Okay, what's he got? What's he got? What have you got for me now, opponent? Just play like a 5-5, and then I'll just win next turn if I draw a land. Sure. Oh, might be. He doesn't have the mana to cast it. That's actually kind of funny. We just want to land. And if he doesn't have a way to kill this, then we can just kill him with that. No, not my Bond of Passion. I think he has to take Battlefield promotion. Oh. So we will Battlefield promotion this guy so it doesn't die to the Leyline Prowler. Do we? Oh my gosh, we just had lethal. My bad. Because we could have just played this. I forgot it had haste. I would have put him to 2 and then attack with everything. Yeah, I'm bad. My bad. Sorry, folks. It's all about hiding that information. Good game. Jeez. Yeah. Let's get that next W. Okay. Kind of like where we're at. Let's just get that win. Redeem ourselves for that last round. Oh, this is a great hand. Great hand, especially on the draw, because we'll probably hit a land. Oh, he's playing blue. But Chandra's Triumph is really good for killing Leyline Prowler, which is an important card to be able to kill when you see it. We have a proactive 2-drop, we have a 3-drop, a couple 3-drop options. Chandra's Triumph to kill the important card. Wow, Naga Eternal. Those are the beautiful, beautiful things you can play if you're playing 3 colors. Get the Tibalt down. So if it trades, then I can put another counter. Wow, that is huge. So that means one of the things you need to be able to do when you're playing is think about what that thing dying means, and that tends to mean that he doesn't have a good blocker for a 2/2 for a while. Because if he's playing a like 4/4 this turn, there's no way he make. I guess I was wrong. Yeah, that was bizarre. Let's play this guy. If he kills my Tibalt, then I get a counter. If I block with my 1/1, I get a counter. Sure. Sure thing, buddy. Okay, Tibalt is in the house. Perfect. Okay, so we're in good shape here. We have our Chandra's Triumph. We can kill a Herald of the Red Horde with that. Well, that worked out. So if he makes this big, we can just take it. If he doesn't make it big, then we can kill it and take control of something else. Okay, never mind. I lied. Okay, so he's running on fumes. This could be the game that we win to win the 5th win. Well, that was a heck of a draw. Get the guaranteed damage. Don't want to land. Huh. I think I might have just taken the extra 1 so that I could make it so Samut didn't do anything, but I guess this he has to kill these eventually, and they'll just add up. Mowu, eh? Well, now we'll buff up one of these. Wow, there would have been 3 lands in a row, but as it is, we dodged that a little bit. So now he can try to kill the Chandra. We'll chump block, put him to 5, and then finish him off. Oh, he has Samut as well. Oh, that's not pleasant. 1. Okay. I can't believe he had Davriel's Shadow Fugue in against me. He goes to 4, 3, 2. Functional 1 because this thing hits him. Play my land. Yes! Boom! We got the W. Yes! Hoo-hoo! Yes! I knew we'd get to 5 wins. Whoo, baby! Well, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, I sincerely hope you enjoyed it. If you did make it to this part, let me know you did by typing in the comment section down below hashtag Boros Beatdown for the win. It's a long hashtag, but that ensures that none of the people that just watch half the video get all of these trade secrets. So Boros Beatdown for the win is what you should type in the comment section down below with a hashtag in front if you want. That is going to do it for this video. Remember to hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, all that good stuff. Let's open our prizes. I know a lot of people enjoy watching pack openings, so I like to indulge them at the end. So we have 8 packs to open. Okie doke, exciting stuff. Okay, Ravnica War, not a particularly good card. Kind of cool in Commander, I think. Dreadhorde Arcanist, sure. Part of that sweet turn 2 combo kill deck. Or 3 combo kill, not turn 2. Ooh, wild cards are always nice. I love wild cards. Hey, Tybalt. Ooh, Bioessence Hydra is a sweet one. I really like that one. Just in terms of how flavor works, and it's just cool. Yes, I love Niv-Mizzet Reborn. Gonna have to build a deck around him at some point. Ooh, Roalesk, another good card. Lots of mythics opened, which is always nice. Always good to open mythics. Vivian's Arkbow, a solid card for sure. And final pack. Let's get a good one. God Eternal Ronas. Yes, another mythic. Very hype. Anyway, that is going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you next time.